Laura, at 73 years old, sat alone in her cold kitchen one early morning. The ticking of the clock echoed sharply in the stillness, and the pale light of dawn filtered through the windows. Her once warm and lively home, filled with the laughter of children and the bustle of family gatherings, had become silent and empty. The only sound now was the hum of the old coffee machine that had served her family for years. On the table lay a letter folded, unfolded, rewritten countless times, but never sent. It was a letter she could never bring herself to finish. Since the sudden passing of her husband, Laura had quietly taken on the financial burden of the entire family. She had paid for everything: holidays, school fees, business loans, and countless other expenses. It had always been her role, silent, unwavering, and full of love. She never complained. But as the years went by, a painful realization began to creep in, one that took root in the quiet moments when she allowed herself to reflect. What she gave was no longer seen as love, but as an obligation, a transactional relationship masked as family. The tipping point came during a recent family gathering. It had been a celebration of sorts, yet the mood had felt hollow. Amid the chatter and clinking of glasses, her eldest son, David, casually pulled her aside. "Mom, I'm expanding the company. I need another $200 million from you," he had said, as though it was a simple request, a mere formality. Then came Jennifer, her daughter, who had approached her with a look of concern. "Ben's starting college soon. The tuition's a bit steep. Can you help just one more time?" Laura looked around, her heart heavy. The room was full of people she had given everything to, but no one was really with her. No one had asked about her health, her well-being, or how she was feeling. They were laughing, eating, toasting, but it all felt distant. She realized in that moment that she was no longer part of the conversation in any meaningful way. That night, she sat in her bed, scrolling through her phone in the dark, the screen lighting up with a never-ending stream of messages, account numbers, money requests, urgent pleas for help. Not a single message said, "Mom, how are you?" "I created this," Laura thought bitterly. "I taught them that love could be traded for money." The next morning, Laura made a decision. It was painful, but it was necessary. She picked up the phone and called her lawyer, Patricia. "I want to stop all financial support," Laura said firmly. "Starting today." Patricia hesitated, knowing the gravity of the decision. "This is a big step, Laura, but I understand." Word spread quickly. The phone calls came pouring in. David was the first to arrive, his face filled with confusion and frustration. "Mom, what are you doing? You're tearing this family apart," he said, his voice raised in disbelief. Jennifer followed, her eyes red from crying. "Mom, we're struggling too. How could you do this to us?" Laura looked at them. These people she had once thought she would do anything for. She had given them everything, but now it seemed like she had lost herself in the process. She asked quietly, "Are you here because you love me, or because I stopped giving you money?" There was no answer. Silence stretched between them, thick and uncomfortable. One by one, they left, their footsteps echoing in the empty house. And for the first time in years, the silence didn't feel like loneliness. It felt like peace. A few days later, the phone rang. It was Sophia, her eldest granddaughter. "Grandma, can I come visit you?" she asked, her voice filled with warmth and tenderness. "I would love that," Laura replied, smiling for the first time in days. That afternoon, Sophia arrived, and the two of them sat together on the porch, surrounded by the garden Laura had tended to for years. Sophia gently took her grandmother's hand, her voice trembling as she spoke. "You helped me with my homework. You made me laugh. You cooked my favorite soup. You were always there for me. I'm so sorry I let you be alone for so long." Laura's heart softened at the sincerity in Sophia's words. She smiled gently, her eyes moistening. "Thank you, Sophia. Sometimes, just one person seeing you clearly is enough." A week later, David came back. This time, there was no business proposal, no requests for money. He simply wanted to speak with his mother. "Mom," he said, looking at her with a mixture of regret and understanding, "you were right. I didn't see you. I only saw what I needed. I'm sorry." Laura didn't cry. She didn't scold him. She simply nodded and said, We can start again, but this time, not with money, with truth. As time passed, things began to change. The phone calls became more genuine, more thoughtful. They no longer asked her for financial help, but instead inquired about her well-being. "Mom, how was your day? I made your old soup recipe." "I just wanted to hear your voice, Mom." And one crisp autumn morning, as the leaves turned golden outside her window, Laura sat on her porch, writing in her old journal. "I am no longer a provider. I am a mother, a grandmother, a person. And now, they are learning to see that," she wrote. "Some love is not to be bought. Some relationships must be rebuilt with truth and vulnerability. And sometimes, the greatest gift you can give yourself is to stop giving, stop sacrificing, and simply allow yourself to be seen for who you are. Teach others how to value you, not for what you give, but for who you are." Banda noi? Quyen doi. Tantinyang fu nu 45 tuoi tong. Giong. Ene te. Ene ke. Truyen. Tieng mi. Chat GPT da noi. Sure, here's the same story, rewritten in the voice of a 45-year-old American woman with a gentle tone. "I remember one quiet morning, just me, in my cold kitchen, the kind of cold that settles into your bones. The clock ticking on the wall was the only sound, sharp and steady, keeping me company. On the table in front of me was a letter folded, unfolded, scribbled over, yet never sent. I didn't even know if I'd ever be able to send it, but something about it felt like the right way to begin. This house used to be full of life, laughter, voices, the clatter of kids running around, and the warmth of family. But now, it's just me and the sound of an old coffee machine brewing. It's funny how things change, isn't it? Since my husband passed so suddenly, I've quietly shouldered everything. All of it. The bills, the holidays, the school fees, even business loans. Everything. It was just what I did. I never complained. But one day, something shifted. Slowly, painfully. I started to realize that what I was giving, it wasn't seen as love anymore. It was just an expectation. It was more like an obligation. And that realization, it stung. It happened at a family gathering a while back. It should have been a happy time, but something felt off. My son, David, pulled me aside, casual as can be. "Mom, I'm expanding the company. I need another $200 million from you." Then Jennifer, my daughter, came up to me. Her voice a little softer, but still asking for more. "Ben's starting college soon. The tuition's high. Can you help one more time?" I looked around at everyone, people I had given so much for, and I realized no one was really with me. Sure, they were all there, laughing, chatting, eating, but no one was asking about me, about my heart, about my health, about anything deeper than what I could give. That night, I sat in bed scrolling through my phone. One message after another, account numbers, requests for money, urgent, help me, Not a single one said, "Mom, how are you?" Or even, "How's your day?" And in that moment, it hit me. I created this. I taught them that love could be bought. The next morning, I called.